you can see the man's world. When a man is walking with his shoulder high, you think he's that Superman. You now know in every man there's a child there. In every man there's that fear of insecurity, that fear, that's unsatisfaction. Try how to open up to somebody, and the believer don't talk. But you now know men really want to talk to. But for what my friend Cholo said, fear of betrayal, rejection, all part of reason one man don't talk. That means every man working on these streets is looking for whom to open up to. That is why you see when they're watching football match, where they shout when the goal comes, they are trying to pour out. They're trying to release it out. You see a man that has everything, mini studio, mini cinema studio in his house. But to watch a football match, you prefer to go to a place you have friends to watch, where he can shout, where he can scream, where he can be himself. I pity the man's soul. May God help us. Now, back to Tolu. Come with me. From what you said, Tolu, does it mean that men actually live a fake life?
Many of us do live a fake life. Right? And the honest truth is, it's not just living a fake life. We have been given an identity to act, right? And as much as we can, we're trying to act the script, right? From different points on how to be a man, how to talk, this is how you should behave, right? So we are acting out so many scripts all at once. So at different points in time, we take up identity that does not define us, right? And because it doesn't define us, we just try to just follow up with the script and say, okay, being a man is this, being a man is that. But we are not just acting the part, just acting the part, but not being the real man we're called to be.
When I live the fake life, try to be whom they want me to be, whom I am not. Is it not a price tag? When I have to live a fake life, I can't afford to live in social area because all my friends are moved to this area. I need to park to this area. I need to take this road here. I need to take this road to be whom they want me to be. That means it's a cause of the society or my friends or family. Who do we blame?
I'll blame. For me, I've shifted my mindset from who to blame to how do I take responsibility in those areas, right? I remember having a conversation with my sister and I was telling her that, at this point in time, I made this mistake, mistake, and she made one profound statement. She told me that, Tolu, rather than finding out who to blame, why don't you take responsibility in those areas and see the way forward, right? So as men, sometimes we have reasons to shift our responsibility, to blame society, to blame how we're nurtured, how we're taught, as how our parents groomed us and all that. We have, the list is long, we can keep blaming people, but as men, we need to start waking up to responsibility and say, okay, though society had its own effect on how we were brought up, but how do we take responsibility to being the man we are supposed to be, right? So rather than shifting blame and pointing blame, how do we now take responsibility and say, okay, in this area of family, I need to get better. In my career, I need to get better. In providing as a man, I need to get better, rather than me defining all those pocket holes and say, I want to blame systems for it and taking just responsibility for them.
Okay. I've heard stories of men committing suicide because of a responsibility was placed on them. I can't afford to do so thing. And the pressure to be that thing, to carry that responsibility, weighs on my shoulder. At night, when I wake up at night, when those pressure comes upon me, it weighs me down. It makes me sick. But when I come out, I can't open up to the people. So, what is the solution there?
To be honest, right, you said something very profound, and the honest truth is that everybody wants a Superman, but they don't want a Clark Kent, right? So everybody wants a Superman that can save the world at an instant, just come and you just save the situation and all that, right? But nobody will appreciate the Clark Kent, right? But as a Clark Kent, how can you walk out to be the person you're called to be, right? You can't, you might not have all the strength you need, but how do you find yourself missing in those responsibility you're supposed to take, and how do you fill in the gap, right? And one of the why this conversation is so important is because how do you now open up and say, guys, I'm struggling in this area? I remember having a conversation with my friend, and I actually opened up to him and told him that, see, I'm struggling in the place of career. What is your advice, right? So just by having that conversation, like, oh, I'm struggling in this area, what do you think? You're already liberating yourself from those chains that have held you down, than always trying to be a superhero, trying to save the situation.
In time past, especially for me that came from the Southeast Nigeria, whereby the value for the man child is so important. But in contemporary days, in this age now, people prefer to have a female child because they find out, our fathers find out, at old age, the sons are busy. The sons are busy, except to have a good wife that can remember them. But the daughters, they take care of their parents. Now, the joy of masculinity now, what has happened to it, that because the man is down under pressure, but the women, they are alive and well. So, what has happened now?
Okay, to be honest, thank God for women. I don't know how women does it, right? They have a way of not letting all this pressure weigh them down. You see a lady say, oh, I'm going for a spa. You hardly see a guy say, I'm going for a spa. What am I going to do in a spa, right? So those small pocket areas, you see a lady say, oh, I'm going to hang out with my friends, right? Those are things men need to take advantage of. How to release those pressures and say, okay, I'm currently dealing with this, but because I'm dealing with it doesn't mean I'm going to die here, right? I have to find ways of like breaking myself and say, okay, I'm struggling in this area.
Sorry to cut you short, but I don't believe that, but because men still hang out.
Yeah.
If you go to some of the evening joints,
yeah,
we have more men there, but it's like they're getting a temporal solution.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't even open up to each other there.
Yeah.
But why is it because women, they trust more easily? So
wow, you have raised a different conversation, but it's very interesting.
Because the reason why men don't talk is something that every man there wants a solution. Even my audience there, my friends there, even the men there. I see a sister there who want to call, John, come on, I'm sending a video, watch this video. Men need it because we need to live. Can we tell the audience we need to live?
Yes, we need to leave now.
We need to live.